I just want to see y'all's. Oh. Okay, thank you. Nah.
I always ask because my daughter sometimes does videos for me and her seem to go super viral. So
Oh, okay.
You got that for your birthday too?
What? No, I've been had that. Well, say something, Tanisha. Huh? I said say something.
Something?
No, to her.
To who? Oh.
She,
You doing yoga? Where's Jim at?
I thought he was at work, but he left work. So I guess he out here in these streets.
Where he get you?
I don't know. He said wait till later.
Oh, okay. All right, we're gonna go ahead and get started. I want to thank everybody for coming today. I see we must be celebrating something special. It's the birthday and anniversary.
It's my birthday.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
You're very welcome. What's your name?
Kamisha.
Amisha?
Kamisha.
Kamisha?
Tanisha.
Tynisha?
Jakia.
Jakia. Kamisha, Tynisha, Jakia. Okay, Rolanda. Okay, I just like to know everybody's name. Okay, so thank you everybody for coming to my Rug Tuffing class. My instruction at the beginning is only going to be 10 to 15 minutes. I'm an artist. I have a very short attention span. I'm sure other people share that same thing that I have. So to be mindful of that, I talk a little bit less at the beginning and then I do more hands-on and walking around, okay? I find that people grasp the information a little bit more if I take less time, teaching at the beginning. Practice will be about 5 to 10 minutes, and that's just based on how quickly you guys grasp the technique, okay? Start off by letting you guys know that I've been doing rug tuffing since I was a very little girl. Of course, not with an electronic tool, but I was doing it with like a manual, old-fashioned hand tool with my mom and my grandma. And they also used to do latch hook and other forms of art. So they were all artistic women, very visual women. And rug tuffing for me, even though this is my business, it's my passion, it helps me keep those memories of those times where I spent with my grandmother, my mother, when I was little, very near and dear to my heart. And then I get to share that with other people. So it's really a blessing for me anytime anybody comes to do a rug tuffing class. For me, it's very up close and deep and personal for me. So thank you guys once again for coming. And then I did do a little bit of research. I found that rug tuffing goes back thousands of years ago, back to the Persian rug days. So back then they were making rugs very similar to how my mom and my grandma did. And those rugs back then indicated status. It indicated like what tribe you came from, what was your ethnic background. And they also used those rugs as a form of currency and communication. So I like to share that too. Some people could care less, but I love to plant seeds. I like to peep.
I like history.
Yeah, and it to me it's real dope that thousands of years later people are still making rugs. Even though we use them for a different reason now, it's still that art form from Africa transcended all these years. So I like to share that. Next is I want everybody has a gun. So your basket you probably want to put to your right side. Yeah, you can leave yours on the left side because they over there. Okay, so. Everybody go ahead and pick up your guns. Okay. Alright, so these guns are the latest and greatest cordless rug tuffing guns that exist right now. So you got a very good piece of equipment. It's gonna do a real good job for you as long as you respect the equipment and use it the way that I teach you how to do it. I do have guns with cords. They work very similar to these, but I really like the way the cordless guns work. They have really, improved since I got my first gun 10 years ago. Like I was doing it manual before then. I got my first gun 10 years ago. So this is like going from the Flintstones to the Jetsons with this gun right here, okay? So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna teach you guys the parts of this gun. I'm teaching you the parts of the gun because that's gonna be significant when I teach you technique and I explain to you how to use the gun, okay? Before I do anything though, I want to tell you about this little red button right here. This red button is the on and off switch. It has to stay off unless you are actively tufting on your canvas. Meaning that the needle, and I'll come over here and show you on this side, and I'll come over here. I'm gonna go in the top left-hand corner of your canvas. The needle and feet, the needle is not in the canvas and the feet are on the canvas. That's the only time this gun should be turned on,
Mhm.
okay? When you're actively rub tufting. If you're not actively rub tufting, you want to turn it off.
Okay.
And I'll show you guys over here, pardon my reach. So if the needle is not in the canvas and the feet are not on the canvas, you want to make sure this is turned off. The reason why is anybody left-handed in here? Everybody right-handed? Okay. So when you hold this gun, your index finger goes automatically on the trigger, right?
Mhm.
So let's say you pull the gun off, you decide to, you know, crack a joke, chat, walk around or whatever. Instinctively, your finger goes on the trigger and you mashing the trigger. So if the gun is on, it's just gonna keep moving. And depending on how fast the gun is going, it can go even faster than that. This is still gonna be moving. So for safety purposes, we wanna make sure it's turned off. And I might say it 50 times and I might get on y'all nerves with saying it, but trust me, it's really for your own safety. If you are not actively tufting, make sure it's turned off. If you need to sit it in your basket to re-thread your gun, if you wanna take a break, if you wanna go switch out your colors or do whatever, just make sure it's turned off unless you're tufting, okay? All right, so next thing is I'm gonna tell you the parts of the gun. So you got the needle right there. It's pretty sharp, but you can tap it with your index finger. It's not gonna puncture your finger. The needle has a thread hole that goes all the way through it. So the thread hole we're gonna use as one part to thread our gun. And then you have this coil right here, which I call the looper, that you're gonna also use to thread your gun. So the thread hole and the coil we're gonna use to thread our gun, okay? Do I need to walk around and show anybody or y'all following me? Y'all got me? Okay, cool. Awesome. All right, so the needle goes through what I call the feet. And in order for you, and I of course demonstrate, in order for you to successfully rub tuff, the needle has to always be in the canvas and the feet has to be on the canvas. So these feet, if they are not on the canvas, you will not be rub tuffing. You'll be cutting a hole through your canvas. Okay, so make sure that the feet stays on the canvas at all times and the needle in the canvas. And I'm saying that so when you see it, you'll understand what I'm talking about. This needle has a very teeny tiny pair of scissors that goes right in between this fold. Those scissors work to cut the yarn on the opposite side of the canvas. So right now you're looking at a mirror image. It's the back of your canvas. After today, nobody else will see this back of this canvas. I'm gonna put adhesive on there. It take 3 to 4 days to dry. On the 5th day, I put the backing on. You'll never see the back again. These scissors, we wanna make sure they cut on the opposite side of the canvas and not cut through your canvas, okay? So that's why it's important to always keep the feet on the canvas and the needle in the canvas when you are rub tuffing. Any questions on those parts? All right, perfect. Next thing is the speed. Everybody's gun, and I already tested it, is turned on to the lowest possible speed that it can be on. What I like to do is I like to make sure it's on the lowest possible speed, because starting out until you gain and grasp the technique, the hand and eye coordination, the mechanics of using this device, you want to make sure you go slow. Now, you don't have to go slow your entire project. An hour into your project, 2 hours into your project, if you want to speed it up a little bit, you can. Just don't speed it up too much, you know. I did show you guys an example of slow. So this is the slowest that it goes. But of course, you can turn it up higher than that and even higher than that, and it goes faster than that. So if you guys decide to turn it up, just make sure you take baby steps. Go up a little bit. If you feel good with that and you want to go up a little bit more, turn it up a little bit more, okay? And then I hear everything, so I can hear if somebody's not tufting right. I can hear if the gun is jammed. I can hear if you got your finger on the trigger and you're not tufting. I can hear if you accidentally turn it up and maybe not be ready to, so I might say some stuff. I might get in your personal space a little bit, but that's just to help you successfully, you know, finish your project, okay? All right, next thing is these batteries are fully charged, but every time I say that, somebody's battery dies. So it does, it never fails. So if somebody's batteries die, let me know. I have plenty of replacement batteries. I'll replace it. And the way you know that is your battery, your gun just stopped moving. Like you tucked in it and it might make like a little noise and then it just stops. That means the battery died, okay? Positioning of how we hold the gun. Okay, all you are right-handed, so you naturally grab the gun with your right hand. This guide we're gonna hold with our left. All right, and so today, because it's a beginner's class, every stroke that we do with the gun is gonna start at the base of our project and go straight up. Or if you want to do anything horizontally, you're gonna turn the butt of your gun, I'll turn around so you can see it. You're gonna turn the butt of the gun to the right, keep the guide straight, and you're gonna go to the left. You can't backwards tuck. If you go this way, the way that the butt of the gun is, it's gonna cut a hole in your canvas. So if you wanna go horizontal, you're gonna turn the gun, rotate the gun, knock your guy stay straight, and you're gonna go left, okay? Left, yep, left. Right-handed people is easier for you, and I'll come over here so you can see. So if you wanted to, like, let's say you just wanted to go this way, you're gonna turn it like this, and you're gonna go left.
Okay.
You keep
Not
it straight.
backwards.
Okay.
Keep the guy straight. Yep, the guy is gonna be straight.
Oh, okay.
Yep, and your stroke is gonna be 1, take it out, 2, take it out,
Okay.
3. You will never go back. If you
Okay.
go back, it's gonna be a whole big old hole in there.
Okay.
Did you ladies want me to show you over
be
here?
hard.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you wanna, let's say you got an area that you wanna, cover horizontally. So instead of going straight up, you wanna go across, right? Pardon my reach. You're gonna turn the gun like this, and you're gonna go to the left. Okay, not backwards. You're
I'm
gonna
trying
go
to
to the
think,
left.
what color should I
So,
have?
and this guy is gonna stay straight, so you're gonna turn the gun, go to the left, okay?
If you're gonna use dark colors.
Alright? Okay.
I was
cool.
thinking like this, blue, yellow.
You're gonna be
white.
fine. I have 10-year-old kids coming here and do real tough. And the oldest person I taught, she was 83, and her project turned out beautiful, so you guys will be fine, trust me. Every stroke that we do today though, like, so let's say you tuck the line and you go straight up and you're at the top. Don't turn your gun like this to go down. Take it out and start at the bottom and go back up, okay? No downward tucking today, because that's a more advanced class, all right? Any questions on what I went over so far?
We get to practice first, right?
Of course,
Okay.
of course. That's what this is for.
Okay.
Okay.
And then, and I'm glad you asked that question, because once we pick our yarn, what I always tell everybody to do, take a couple of practice runs on the outside of your actual image, so you can get a feel for the tightness of your canvas, the strength of your gun, and just get that good hand and eye coordination. Because you're gonna practice up here, but then when you go over there, it's like
It might be different.
you missed a few seconds. That few seconds is gonna change things. Okay. All right. So everybody ready to learn how to thread the gun?
Yeah.
Okay. So and then after this we practice. Okay. So the easiest way for me to teach everybody how to thread the gun is to take your gun and set it upside down in your basket like this with the needle pointing to the ceiling. So the needle has to be pointed to the ceiling. Yep, pointed to the ceiling. All right. Everybody in their basket should have one of these. It's called a threader. It's very similar to a threader with a sewing machine. If anybody knows how to sew or design.
I don't have.
You don't have one?
Oh, yes, I do.
Yes, you do.
You got it? Okay, cool. All right. So we're gonna use this threader to get set up so that we can thread. So first thing you wanna do, this might be somebody coming to pick up their rug, excuse me. Hello. Oh, hey, how you doing? Excuse me, ladies. Good.
Y'all want to see my rug?
Oh, yes.
This is my rug. This is the birthday girl rug. Yeah.
You like it?
I have to get the other two
All right,
girls
have a
up
blessed
there.
one. Take care. Sorry about that. All right, so threader, all right? So remember that thread hole that I mentioned? Okay, remember I told you guys about the thread hole and the looper, and we're gonna use that to thread our gun? So we're gonna take this threader and we're gonna go behind, and I'm gonna come around to show you. We're gonna go behind, and I'm having a gender reveal, another gender reveal via Rug Toughness. So they wanted to come in today and start decorating. So I'm sorry for, having to move back and forth. I'm gonna show them over here first, and I'm gonna come over here and show you guys.
Okay.
So no matter what
Yeah, I remember, yeah.
position this gun is in, you're always gonna thread the exact same way, okay? So you're gonna take the threader, you're gonna go behind the thread hole, behind the needle through the thread hole, just like that, yep, perfect. So behind it, and if you need to use 2 fingers, and it might be thread on your threader, it's fine. It's not gonna hurt nothing. And then you're gonna put it through the looper. And then when you get in that position, you can just let it go, because it'll be anchored. You won't have to support it, okay? So you're gonna go behind the thread hole. If you need to use 2 fingers, so that's in the front of it. So you're gonna go behind it.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
I got bad hand eye coordination.
You can use 2 fingers if you need to.
Okay.
Push it all the way through. All right, and then once you get it through the thread hole, you're gonna put it through this looper. So
Okay.
just
Just straight down?
Yep, just straight
Okay.
down, leave it alone. It
Okay.
anchors itself. All right, so this is gonna be the slowest way for me to teach anybody how to thread a gun. It really does not take this long to learn how to thread, but I do find sometimes that people get confused because of the way that they're holding the gun. So just so you know, the way that you have that gun now, it doesn't matter what position you had this gun in. You could be holding the gun up here, you could be holding it like this, it could be upside down, it doesn't matter. You always gonna go behind the needle through the thread hole and then down through the looper, okay? All right, perfect. So once you have that in place, everybody should have a piece of practice yarn. If it's tangled up, don't worry about untangling it. You just need to find the cut end of it because we're just gonna practice threading, that's it.
Okay.
All right, so that threader that we just put through our loop in our thread hole, we are going to take the cut end of the yarn and put it through the opening in this thread. Now when you get it through the opening, only pull it down about 1.5 inches. Don't pull it all the way down like this. That will, yeah, you have a lot of issues with that. So just about 1.5 inches, that's perfect. No more than that. Perfect. No more than that. Perfect. Perfect. Yep, just like that's all. That's all you need, just that little bit. Yep, you can let it go. And then whatever hand you have free, pull your threader through this looper. Pull the other end of the threader through the thread hole. Now, as soon as you get the cut end of the thread through the thread hole, you're gonna pinch the thread with your other hand and just pull the threader off. Just pull it off. Yep, you gotta get it through the thread hole first, Orlando. You gotta pull it through.
Yeah, I feel like this little piece is too long, so I was just shortening it.
Oh, yeah, it's fine. Yep, there you go. Perfect.
And then just
Awesome. Good job. Anybody got questions about threading the gun? It's really very simple, but sometimes the simplest things seem the hardest. So everybody's okay? All right, perfect. Go ahead and pick your guns up because we are going to talk about positioning of your, what I call your feeder yarn and positioning of this thread hanging from the thread hole, okay? So first we're gonna talk about the position of this thread hanging from the thread hole. Now, if your thread is hanging down any lower than the feet, pull your thread back. You don't want it hanging down too long. Pull it back.
then the feet.
Yep, the feet. Remember I
This
told
thing
you about
right
the feet?
here?
Yep,
Yeah.
this is the feet.
Okay.
Yep, so pull it back. Yep, just like that. All right, for 3 reasons. Oh yeah, pull yours back.
Yours.
Oh, you pulled it
yours
all the way
came
out.
All right.
It's okay. I'll help you so you can get caught up. All right, so pull that back. All right, so it should not be hanging lower than that. For 3 reasons. The first reason is the back of this canvas. Again, you won't see it anymore after today. Every single line that you tuft will leave a little piece of this thread hanging, right? So all of that gets shaved off, it goes on the floor and goes in the garbage. I'm very resourceful. I'm all about limiting waste. We need to have more of this yarn as part of your project and less on the floor. So don't feel like you need to pull it down, you don't. Secondly, the reason why your thread shouldn't be hanging down this long or any lower than this is because what happens is once you get about 100 lines, maybe 20 lines tufted on the back, while you're tufting, your thread hole and your needle will start to catch those threads. It'll start to weave blue and pink or blue or green and yellow, and you might not want that. In addition to that, they get caught in this thread hole. So if you get 4 or 5 of those that's been hanging down too long, caught in this thread hole, you're gonna start to make like a buzzing noise. It'll jam. You'll have to turn it off, pull everything out, and re-thread. And you'll do that about 35 times in the first 5 minutes before you realize I need to stop pulling this down so long. And then the next reason why, the last reason, is if you have too many of these long threads hanging, it gets caught in these gears. If it gets caught in the gear and I can't get it out, it's a wasted piece of equipment. I don't have anywhere in Ohio that can fix these guns, nowhere surrounding states. Nobody sells them anywhere around here or surrounding states. So I used to be able to send them to California, but because of the fires, I only had to send 2 really, but that place is no longer there. So it's just like it's toasted. So to preserve the life of the equipment, to not interrupt your flow and jam your gun and you having to continuously re-thread and limit waste, we want to make sure it doesn't come down any lower than this. Okay, and then that leads me to hair. Your hair is absolutely beautiful, but you're gonna have to pull it back.
Okay.
Because just like the thread can get caught in the gun, your hair can too. And in 3 years, I've had 2 people get their hair caught in the gun, and I always let everybody know, and they felt that they didn't need to, and they literally did get their hair caught in the gear, and it took some time to get it out. So, and that could be painful. So I just, want to make sure And if you don't have a bobo, I got yarn if you want to tie back with yarn. It's totally
Okay.
up.
Yeah, I don't got one.
I used to shine.
It's only if it's hanging down like this, and like if you guys had on hoodies and you had like shoestrings hanging down, you wanna make sure your strings is behind you or tied behind you or something like that, okay? And when she gets done, I'll show you guys positioning and then we're gonna practice.
Alright.
Are you all from Cleveland? Alright, perfect. Alright, so next thing is positioning of this feeder yarn is what I call. So this is the yarn that'll be coming from your skein, your ball, or whatever you have on your table, right? That thread should always be on the outside of your left hand free flowing. So while you're holding your guide, you want to make sure this is on the back of your hand. Yep, just like that, perfect. Yep, pull it on the other side. That's okay. You take time to rethread it because it's good practice anyway. All right, so left hand on the guide. No, right hand on the gun, left hand on the guide. Yep, hold the guide, and the yarn should be on the outside, free flowing, okay? That way it doesn't get in the way. You don't have to keep rethreading. Take your time.
It's supposed to be upside down, right?
The needle facing the, pointing to the ceiling. So needle pointing up just like that. Yeah. Once you get used to threading, you might not even use the basket, but I do have some people who use the basket the whole entire time, and it's perfectly fine. It's all right.
What you been doing all day?
I just came from Aereo, and then before that I went to the gym.
Alright, so when you pick your gun up, you're gonna just make sure,
Good.
yep, pull it on all on the left side, hang it down, and hold the guide. Your yarn is on the
Yeah,
inside.
charge it.
I'm charging it.
Okay.
What?
You charge my phone.
I don't got a block.
That's what I mean.
Yeah, so it's always gonna be hanging, and if it come out, you don't have to redo it. I just want you to show position. It's fine, cause after this we gonna practice with my gun, so you fine. So you just want to make sure your thread is always free flowing, hanging on the outside. The reason why is if it's on the inside like this, it's gonna keep coming out, and you rethread about 50 times in 2 minutes because it's not in the right position. If you hold on to it, it's not gonna go anywhere. Okay, so that's it for instruction. Is everybody ready for practice?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Any questions about threading, the parts of the gun, anything that I went over?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Okay, so we gonna go up. We just don't go back down.
Correct.
Just go. Okay.
Yeah, straight
I
up.
just- okay.
Don't
Alright.
go down. And don't go to the right.
You can don't go to the right, go to the left. Cause I'm left-handed and right-handed, so I teach people how to tuck left-handed as well.
Up and to the left.
But right-hand folks, because I'm
Pocket this way.
ambidextrous, I know that I've seen it. I taught all my kids. It's easier for people that's right-handed to tuck to the left versus tuck it to the right. Now, you may have to tuck to the right on your project, just know it's gonna be awkward, cause you'll be holding the gun like this, and then you'll be turning it like this, and then you'll have to go to the right. So if the butt of the gun is on your left, and you go to you don't have to tuck to the right. If the butt of the gun is on your right, you tuck to the left. So that's why I tell all right-handed people, tuck to the left if you're going horizontal. The easiest stitch is straight up. Make sure you turn your gun off. I think you accidentally turned it on. I see the light in the back. Okay, all right. Okay, everybody ready? Okay, sit your guns in your basket. You can just lay it down in the basket. And then come up here to my practice canvas.
These small lines gonna go.
And since you all are right-handed, if you guys wanna stay on my right, just so you can visualize what I'm doing. And then I'm gonna let you all practice, and then we're gonna go, pick yarn. Alright, so I showed everybody how to thread with one piece of thread. Because of the type of yarn that I use, I really like this quality of yarn. It's a little bit thinner than the other yarn that I used to use. So with that being said, you have to use 2 strands when you thread your gun. It doesn't matter if you're outlining. If you decide to outline your project, you still wanna make sure you double the yarn when you thread your gun, okay? So instead of threading with 1, you're gonna do the same thing you did with 1, and you just gonna thread with 2. No, the colors don't have to be mixed. Mine are just mixed because this is practice yarn. So like, let's say you picking pink and green, you gonna get, that's 2 colors. Instead of coming out with 2 skeins of yarn, you're gonna come out with 4. Because you're gonna have 2 pinks and 2 greens, okay? Got it?
Yeah.
Alright, so first thing I'm gonna talk about is spacing. When you tuck a line, most of your lines are gonna be straight up, alright? Spacing is something like this. So if you guys see the spacing, that's perfect spacing. You do not have to cover up this entire canvas when you tuck your lines. If you do, and I can show you a picture so you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. Your canvas will start to curl, so you don't want to, put too many lines too close together, because when you do that, this what happens. Your rug curls. So this lady, I told her, I said, hey, you're doing a great job. Yeah, you're doing a great job. However, you got too many lines too close together. I tell everybody at the beginning, I've been doing this forever. This is too close. You do not have to get this close.
So how do we determine they're gonna be doing and how to space it?
I'm showing you right here.
No, I'm saying like when we're actually doing it, like how.
I'm about to demonstrate.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm about to demonstrate for you.
like one.
I'm just telling you guys spacing that, when you start off. Cause I know if I tell you that first, you'll think about it. If I tell you that after I start showing you, you won't. Trust me, you won't. Alright, so spacing this is important. It's okay to see a little bit of this canvas in between lines. A lot of people come in and feel like I got to cover up all of it. You don't.
That's how I felt, but you saying
And
no.
you do not.
That's what I'm.
Because what happens is, what you saw in that picture, you have too many of these threads in one space, too close together, and the yarn is thick. See, on this side is thin, but when you look at it on the other side, it blossoms. It blooms like a rose does, like a flower. So it starts to get thick.
I see.
It's
Okay.
too much in one space. So it'll start to get an indentation and it'll start to roll.
So is our rug showing on this part, or our rug is what
It's the
going
back.
On the back side.
Your rug is on the other side.
Oh, this
Yep,
is the back.
Remember I said it's a mirror
okay,
image?
Okay.
So this is the back. So after
Okay.
today, you won't see the back no more.
Okay,
After today, you will only see this side,
okay.
okay? So spacing should look something like this, okay? It's gonna be real easy for y'all to determine how far to go apart.
Okay.